It's hard work, and it's long work. We're outside.
Not too long ago, Nova Scotia looked to its primary industries.
It's more than just learning a trade, mastering the tools, or really knowing the materials.
Setting steel and
Industries
shaping the
still
province's
form a
skyline.
You're right, Ernie. I'll have the adjustments ready by tomorrow.
Nova Scotia's construction are quietly crumbling under the weight.
Other carpenters build the frames for the walls. The boards they use are called studs. The studs are nailed together to make the frame, then it is raised into place and nailed securely.
Stress levels are high, and relationships sometimes with
These are the sounds of
supervisors
building, of progress.
Most of the studs they use are cut to length at a lumber yard.
Without the services of a great transportation network.
Special pieces must be cut to fit.
Queer people were always here. We're always here. We're always here. We're always here. We're always here. Queer people were always here, obviously. They always have been. And there's nothing that grinds my gears more than the idea that trans people started popping up about 10 or 15 years ago. I hate that. I resent it on every possible level. But I do agree that on some level it's a conversation that wasn't being had for a very long time. I think obviously trans people existed in the 80s. I think obviously trans people existed 4,000 years ago in Mesopotamia and wheat fields. The trans experience is inherent in the human experience, but it was something that was able to be pushed away and ignored for so long, and only in recent times seems like a conversation people are finally being forced to have.
Yeah, and I also just feel like, it's been a while since I've kind of talked to anybody about anything related to this, and it's like, because I have no one to talk to, I also just kind of try not to think about it, because it's like, there's no real point in trying to, think too hard about it if I am not going to either do something about it or connect with somebody else about that experience. I'm just kind of, in my own little world of, going to work, and, I don't know, I kind of just, really threw myself into that, because there's also kind of, a lot of personal, interpersonal struggles in the last couple of years, stress,
You don't have to you don't have to understand it to respect it, and it's but there is also something that's really cathartic about just cracking up about being sat at the women's table, the little chair, and
I'm really Labor Days movement, 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 Labor Days movement.
People were like, okay, we'll throw you in. People were like, okay, we'll throw you into all of these women's in trades, women in the trades things, because there's no support for. There's barely support for women in the trades. Especially, I had bosses, call me a bitch or whatever, because I don't know, they felt emasculated or whatever it was. It was just a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of misogyny, or just men being, I don't know, feeling belittled and lashing out or something. And then I started to transition, and I was like, I don't think this is the company to be at when all that is going on. And people are cool with the lesbian thing. I think that straight men tend to understand that, and they usually understand it in a pretty toxic way.
Yeah, well, they can fetishize it enough that it's not a threat to them.
Yeah, they can either fetishize it, or they think that you want to catcall women with them. And I'm like, no, I actually like women. You know, it's like I respect them as people.
Don't treat women like that.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's like so they think that you're on their team or something, and you're like, no.
I don't think I've ever worked with another trans person that I know of. Like, no signs of, like, being able to tell. I feel like if another trans person were to get hired at my job, they would definitely clock me. Like, the signs are there, like, if you pay close enough attention.
Right.
And I don't think I've ever worked with somebody like that.
It's so... Yeah, they want gender diverse people who still fit like their sanitized idea of what a gender diverse person is. You know.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear? Can you hear me?
There we go. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
If I could just talk to, like I said, I think I've spoken to one other trans woman in a construction trade before. She was a mechanic, and I don't think she was a mechanic at the time that I was talking to her, but like that was the only time I've ever spoken to. And even like online, I can't even find representation for trans women in construction, like on the internet. Like it's such a small minority. There's just like there's no representation like anywhere. So that's extremely, extremely isolating, to be honest.
Second, it's a porta potty. It's a hole you shit in. Like, it's not, you know, every porta potty is a gender neutral bathroom because who cares? You know, like,
disgusting no matter what.
It is disgusting no matter what genitalia you have. It is a disgusting shit sauna. Like, it is like, to me,
very interesting, especially for somewhere like Nova Scotia, where it's like there's a lot of queer people and a lot of visibly queer people and a lot of out people, but also the trades, you run into a lot of quite like traditional old school people in the trades, you know. It's like most of my bosses or something have all been really old school white dudes who are like usually quite intimidating, big in stature, you know, like strong and gruff maybe gruff. Yeah, so like, you know, they've got like baseball mitts for hands, and you're gonna tell them something really vulnerable and potentially something that's going to incite violence, like almost, you know, that's something that's going to incite violence, like almost, you know, that's something that's going to incite violence, like almost, you know, that's unlike something that's going to incite violence, like almost, you know, that's unlike something that's going to incite violence, like almost, you know, that's unlike something that's going to incite violence, like 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 incite violence.
You want to seem like you're trying to prove yourself. You want to seem like you're just letting it fly. Like, you really don't want to seem like you're trying to run around. Yeah, exactly. You want to make it seem like you always got it. Yeah, that you always had it.
That sure sounds like the truth.
Yeah, and then you can like laugh about shit that goes wrong. Yeah. Because you already have this foundation of like, these people trust me, they like me well enough, or at least they respect me as like a fellow worker, and then we can laugh and like, I don't know.
Well, and when we laugh at stupid shit we do.
Yeah.
construction sites are an echo chamber in the same sense. Like, it's just, and that's why construction men love it a lot of the time. Also, I just think, like, trades are, for me, it is the logical choice. I could theoretically go to university and interact with a version of academia that would hopefully be more accepting of my identity as a trans woman. Or I could, have a house someday. I just can't make it in white collar work. I can't, looking down the barrel of AI, looking down the barrel of, $50,000 in student debt and an unemployment crisis, and looking at the current job market, I would be broke and destitute for the rest of my life if I went to university for anything. So trade school, trade school is really my only option here. And I just feel like you gotta kind of grin and bear it, because that's, what other choice do you have?
He never physically touched me, except for that one time he touched my thigh, but it was, scary. Fuck, it was scary. I had to have a fucking taser on me or something. Anyway.
Especially a big guy like that.
Yeah, he was easily 3 times my size. And it was so weird, because, everybody else, and to me when we were around people, he was just so nice to everybody, but then once you're alone, he's the biggest creep in the fucking world.
Turns it right on and off.
Yeah, and I never thought something like that would happen to me because I'm so masculine in appearance, and then it did, and I was so shocked. And I remember one time, I asked him if he was into guys.
How'd that go?
He got so mad.
Before you got fired?
Right. Have you seen castle joints before? Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really into joinery these days.
Yeah. Do you do hand joinery?
No, I've all been just learning how to wield my router.
I got the Milwaukee compact router that just fits in your hand, and that thing honestly is a beast. I wasn't expecting it to have so much power for a handheld router. It's fucking awesome. It goes through everything.
Like a trimmer router, or a router?
Like a router.
Yeah, and it's a handheld.
Yeah, it has attachments where you could put it on a table if you wanted to, but I just use it handheld.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That must be such a boring life. People, no trans people, no fun.
How have you lived this long?
Yeah, right. It's like eating boiled potatoes for dinner.